Stubs. Welcome to the first episode of 74 Minutes with Stubs. 74 Minutes with Stubs is a series where I take a look at a band or an artist's discography and slim their catalog down to what I consider to be their essential music. Why 74 minutes? 74 minutes is the maximum duration of music you can fit on a blank CDR. It's an absolute. There's no wiggle rooms. It's 74 minutes, period. These days, I know with unlimited streaming, you can add as many songs as you want. You can skip them without a second thought. But, man, those old days, a custom CD not only cost you money, it cost you time. You had to gather the media and then burn it. And that's hoping that that it even worked, I plan on putting these tracks in a specific order, hoping to have a nice little flow to listen to these songs back in. And I'm planning on sharing these playlists on YouTube and Spotify so you can check them out. Sometimes it'll just be me going over a burn list. Other times I'll have a guest on and we'll compare notes and see what songs are double certified. So with all that said, let's see how this goes. In today's episode, we look into the legendary band Metallica. I've only purchased one Metallica album in my life. I mean, technically I was a kid, so really my parents bought it for me, and I guess I have bought zero. With that said, it was the spring of '98. I was at a Walmart in Heath, Ohio. Metallica's latest album, Reload, is what I'd picked up. On one hand, 14 seems like an appropriate age to get into Metallica, but I gotta admit, I was extremely late to the Metallica party in my friend group. They were all very well versed in Metallica's entire discography, and I wish I'd asked them for advice before taking the plunge because Reload is very much just okay. Beyond that, yeah, sure. I'd hung out in my neighbor's garage as they played Enter Sandman covers. I'd seen the super depressing video of The Unforgiven on MTV. But it all just registered as a resounding meh. Plus, everyone was kind of down on them at the time. Load, Reload, and Garage Inc. were all considered steps in the wrong direction by the metal faithful. So, one other thing, let's face it. Pretty much everything sucks when you're 14. Anyways, a few years pass. Music is now very important to me. I moved to Florida, and while I'm trying to get a band together, I make a friend. Chris Scott. Chris Scott is the main brain behind Grindhouse Toys. If you haven't checked him out on Facebook or Instagram, you absolutely should. Very cool stuff. Anyway, for a few years, we drove to school, we drove to comic book shops, we went to the movies, we went to CD Warehouse, we went to Publix, we went to Wendy's, we went any and everywhere. Mostly while listening to Metallica. Chris would pull up in his blue mid-90s Mustang to my grandparents' house to pick me up for school at 6:40 a.m., with Ride the Lightning blasting so loud that I could hear it while I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom. To this day, I'm still surprised we don't have permanent hearing loss. Chris knew I was indifferent to Metallica, but I think he knew that he could win me over with 80s Metallica. Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. Was he successful? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we're here, aren't we? Eventually, I even warmed up to some of that sellout era in the 90s. I've listened to their post-2000 releases, but I haven't really given any of that enough of the repeat listens required for it to really make an impression. Speaking of early 2000s, I had eventually come back to Ohio. I was in full swing playing guitar at that point. I was spending a lot of time with my Uncle Andy, and at one point, I borrowed a promotional double CD he had called Mandatory Metallica. He brought it home from the station. It had a great track list that I could play along with. That was over 20 years ago. I still have that double CD, so needless to say, that CD set has made a fine addition to my collection. Recently, I made a trip down to Florida to reunite with Chris and his family to catch Metallica live for 2 nights. No repeats. They played about 30 songs total over the 2 nights, and I gotta give the boys credit. They're in their early 60s, it was 90 degrees, and they still gave me goosebumps. I had a fantastic time. If you're watching the video version of this, you'll see some of the pics and footage that I captured. This current tour they're on is a limited stop, limited tour. If you're a fan and you haven't checked this one off your list, I absolutely recommend it. Almost every song on my 74-minute burn list was played. No tempo issues. Still plenty of strength left in James Hetfield's voice. Just a great time. Absolutely. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get these tracks queued up and ready to burn. I ended up using 73 minutes and 14 seconds this week. And here we go. Track number 1, Battery, off of Master of Puppets, 1986. Holy smokes, the intro alone could be why this song is on the list. It's such a great build-up and then absolutely unleashes the metal on you. Track 2, Master of Puppets, off of Master of Puppets. This is an 8-minute mini-album masterpiece. It could literally stand on its own. It's one of the best songs ever written, and listen, I'm a very tolerant person, but not when it comes to this. Riffs, solos, growls, all the items checked. All the boxes are checked. I will absolutely get into a fist fight about this if necessary. Track number 3, Turn the Page, Garage Inc., 1998. This is the only song on the list that actually speaks to my soul a bit. I know it's a cover, but I think it's a rare cover that exceeds the OG. Kudos to Bob Seger for writing a banger, and props to Metallica for taking it to new heights. Track number 4, Fade to Black, Ride the Lightning, 1984. I think what made early Metallica special is how they could deliver multiple songs within a single song. The acoustic progression behind the verses in the song is incredible, the chorus is properly metal, and when you get to the second half breakdown and outro, you're really firing on all cylinders. It eventually fades out, but I just wish it kept going. Track number 5, Seek and Destroy, Kill 'Em All, 1983. Crunchy and punchy. I love the guitar work on this song, and the chorus is super catchy. Track number 6, Creeping Death, Ride the Lightning, 1984. This song is a beautiful metal punk baby, and I can't stop loving it. There's a great live version on the Woodstock 1999 album. If you're feeling adventurous, go check it out. Track number 7, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Master of Puppets, 1986. Dude, the chorus on this song and the guitar breakdown on the back half get me juiced in a way that make me think I could bench press a wooden beam that's on fire at Wayne Manor. Track 8, Ain't My Bitch, Load, 1996. Look, I know, this is the one that many of you are going to be like, what, really? And yes, I don't know what it is. This song just kind of jams, and I love it. Most Metallica songs sound like they're meticulously assembled and engineered. This song just sounds like they're actually having fun jamming in a studio. I think it works. Track 9, Stone Cold Crazy, Garage Inc., 98. Look, lots of energy, just fun. Full disclosure though, after I had done my major choices, I only had a few minutes left. And since 90% of this band's songs are like 5 minutes or longer, I was a little limited. But this would fit. And there's no disrespect intended. It's full octane metal fun. It just didn't come to my mind as quickly as the other ones did. Track 10, The Unforgiven, Metallica, 1991. Or as a lot of people know, they call this the Black Album, right? Look, I really struggled between this and another song on this album. At the end of the day, I just feel like this song kind of taps into a sense of regret that feels a tad more genuine than the other song I was considering off of this album. It's got a great arrangement. It's a solid solo. And that's all I have to say about this song. Are we clear? That's that. And nothing else matters about The Unforgiven. Track 11, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Ride the Lightning, 1984. If this one doesn't get you slightly banging your head or punch in the air, you might be dead. Iconic intro, great guitar riffs. This song just feels huge. Track 12, One, and Justice for All, 1988. Look, there's a lot to love here with a duration of 7 minutes and 26 seconds, but good lord, it's the triplets section. It just takes me to a place every time I hear it. What a masterpiece. And that's it, the 74-minute burn list for Metallica. The arrangement of tracks felt a bit tricky. You have a lot of intense bangers. You got a couple of slower rockers and then a metal country jam that just doesn't really line up to anything else. I also didn't want Fade to Black, Sanitarium, or One to be right next to each other because, they kind of all start with the same chord. But I had no doubt we were starting off with Battery and Master of Puppets. And I knew the last two songs should be strong and make you want to come back. And I think I achieved all of that here. When I was coming up for the concept of this series, Metallica didn't even cross my mind as a band that I would have covered, but they really are a great example of what I think makes this compelling. None of the songs are short. Every second comes at a premium. 12 songs is not nearly enough to encapsulate a band that's been making music for over 40 years, 20 years of which I'd say they were making extremely relevant music. I definitely consider myself a casual Metallica fan. As a guitarist, I have nothing but admiration for the riffs that anchor their greatest hits. They are unquestionably iconic. I had a handful of songs that I absolutely fretted about losing. I'm sure the hardcore fans will hate half of my list, and everyone else probably hasn't heard of most of these songs. But I'm sure all of you are still waiting for me to surprise, say, Enter Sandman, and well, I will not. I won't. It's gone. It didn't make it, guys. Have you heard all the songs? If not, be sure to check out the playlist that I throw up on Spotify and YouTube. Did I leave any of your essential Metallica tracks off my list? If so, let me know in the comments below. As always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I think this is a pretty good one. You should share this one with someone you know. So, all right, guys, be good to each other out there, and I'll catch up with you next time. Stubs all done.